5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's as high as it goes.
Those are the numbers. That's all
That's
there
it.
are.
It's all
There's
the ones
nothing
I learned.
beyond 12.
It's all the ones I learned.
12 is the highest
nothing
anyone
after
can
it.
count.
Base 12.
Indeed. Hi, friends. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hola.
This is our first episode in over a month. We last recorded before July. Oh my goodness.
Whoa. That's crazy. July went by way too fast. And June went by way too fast.
It sure did. It sure did. And now we're in August. Happy August. Welcome to August.
August, welcome.
We made it into
Yes.
August. Today is 4 weeks to my birthday, though when this drops, it'll be 2 weeks my birthday. So just like FYI, everybody. So
That's right. Break out all the birthday
get all your
cards.
presents ready.
That's right,
Send
right.
them overseas, wherever. Yeah, it's cool.
JK.
We are in the midst of the Olympics, and so if you don't know me by now, you'll never ever know me.
Never know me.
But you'll
No, you
definitely
won't.
know that I love the Olympics, and this is my time to shine, friends.
Yay, it's JB season. Anytime
It's
the Olympics
JB
roll
season.
around, I'm like, JB season. It's time.
Whenever
it's time
they're
for
here,
JB delights.
It's time.
I'm
Wherever
glad.
they are, there they are. It's true.
Truer words
It's
have
true.
never been spoken.
It's true. It's true. We can hop right into our first segment.
Let's hop.
It is the thing with the song. Do 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 do.
What's
What's
new?
new?
Sail away, pocket pod. What's new?
What's new?
It's true. Things are new.
It's
Things are
true.
new. It's August. August is new to us.
August is new.
2024.
It's true.
Mhm.
Also, there was a special event this week
That's true.
that only comes around once a year.
That's right.
I don't know what time it comes around every year, and that's a question for you, my friend Sarah. But we had an event. Can you tell us
blessed
about the
event.
event?
Yes, I can tell you about the event. It's
Yeah.
It happens. I know this. There's some questions about this. It is once a year, and it is only a very particular day and a very particular time.
Mm.
It's the alignment at Dark Star Park, which is a land art installation by Nancy Holt in Roslyn, Virginia. And every August 1st at 9:32 a.m., the shadows of these globes and rod structures line up perfectly with the imprints on the ground. So the
Wait,
shadows are in perfect
pause.
alignment. Yes.
Every what day?
Every August 1st.
It's always August 1st?
It's always August 1st at
Even on a leap
9:32.
year?
How do?
I don't know. That's the way it works. I guess it's close enough that as the Earth shifts slightly, it's not quite different enough to make a change. It's like there's solar events that don't change. That's like a whole, like, isn't Stonehenge and other like ancient structures
Maybe.
still have those like particular
don't know.
alignments that still work?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that's.
There's like an
It's-
annual event in New York that has to do with like a shadow of a building between a bridge or something like that. I forget what it is, but it's
That
something
sounds
like that.
amazing.
And it happens, I think, once a year as well.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so. It's very particular. I think it's because
But how is it the same day?
And how is it 9:30?
it's magic. It's bright. No, but it's
Just like-
something about like it is the root of the sun. The Earth around the sun is very consistent.
The square root of sun
The square root times
Equals-
the length of the triangle plus
times
the
the
side
Gregorian
of the triangle.
calendar that was invented.
It's
That's not perfectly.
right.
I don't understand.
Divided by every 4 years, there's a leap day.
It's crazy.
I do not understand how this works.
It still works out. Maybe
I have a
because-
question. Does it also work on August 2nd at 9:33? And does it work
Ooh.
on July 31st at 9:30?
That's a very good question, and maybe it does. But I'm guessing that those shadows aren't as long or not the right length. Do you know, because as the season as the year goes by and the tilt of the Earth's axis changes in relationship to the sun, the lengths of the shadows change, so they wouldn't be quite as well aligned as they are. And maybe after like hundreds of years, there will be more variation.
On a carousel of time.
Do you think that there might be some child in the Roslyn area that has been their science project, that they go back and were like, I'm going to check throughout those 3 weeks to see if the shadows.
If I had really thought about this back when I worked like spitting distance from there, I would have checked.
You would have done it. You would have been our on the site correspondent. I was not out of spite.
You were not on
the site. Just kidding. It wasn't out of spite.
You were out of sight in spite of the bites.
Yeah, in spite of the bites. You know what? That is a good reason to stay inside. Mosquitoes, ooh, no thank you.
Woof.
But, but I wasn't there this year, but it is fun to go. And there's usually a crowd of people that gathers. Yeah. It's like slowly filters in until the time.
Like
and
the light that filters in, the light that filters in, the people also filter in.
It's true. And sometimes the clouds are covering up the sun, so we can't really see any shadows.
Oh, kind of like when you go to Rochester, New York for an eclipse.
Yes. I've heard that may have happened.
The darkening.
The darkening, the great darkening. Yes, indeed. The very exciting solar event of a dark sky, and I can't really tell why it's happening, but it is in fact darker. Oh,
yeah.
Next time.
At least I knew because I understood science, and I had the camera, or I had my phone showing me a different one that was happening nearby.
That's right. So you could watch it live from a location that had
held it up
clear
into
sky.
The sky. Yeah,
that's very sweet. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. But yes, it's cool. Very similar in that.
But you've been to dark. How many times have you gone? Do you think?
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So it's like it's fun. It's a neat thing to go to, and it's like it's cool. It's I think they just celebrated their 40th year. I think last year was the 40th year of the installation. So that's kind of a little extra celebration.
It's mine and Leisha's age then.
What?
I'm
trying to figure out how.
She's doing science. She's doing experiments on her phone.
Yes, research it up, Leash. Find out how it works. I mean, our solar calendar, our calendar is a solar one, and it has to have some baked in days to make it work better with our numbers. So maybe that's why it still kind of roughly adjusts itself to fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the science, so I'd love to get a breakdown. Yes, they are. They're somehow connected and yet different. And
this is
fingers orbiting.
So what's special about the shadows that time?
Oh, that they align with the shapes that are what is it? There's like I'm trying to remember what it is. It's almost like not an enamel, but like stone and metal lining
with their
on the ground. So yes.
So it
the
has
shadows,
like a sundial effect, but it's aligned with the stuff on the ground.
Exactly. So it's just like the whole shadows, like the shadows of the big round orbs that are flat. Of course, they're circles that are flat on the ground, and like longer rod shapes all match up. I feel like I could share pictures to show you better. Let me see.
I'm sure there's like a Wikipedia thing about this.
Oh, that's true. This is very true.
But yeah, I think you've shared pictures with me before, and I was like, "That's fun."
It's just fun. It's just neat.
Park.
It's just a fun thing. It's just dark. It's also neat. It's also cool to walk around because it's just like a lovely little wooded, like a few big trees and grassy areas, and you can kind of peer through these big concrete globes that have holes cut out of them.
The giant little concrete balls.
Big old balls. Big old BOBs.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, that's fun. I just it's neat. I really like big art installations and like the permanent public
especially
art.
when they are when they use something like that, like some sort of they paid attention to the natural world around them, and then they integrated it, right? Like
it's cool. It's a way to get you to pay attention to ask questions about why does this work every year and understand how sun works.
How do
public art makes you ask the big questions. Oh my gosh, guys.
Yeah.
Do you know the High Line in New York City?
What about it?
There's the big park that's made on an old rail line. They have a plinth. I think they call it the plinth, that every so often they have a new art installation, a new big art installation. And the next one, guys, that's going up in October of this year is a giant pigeon. And it's called Dinosaur. And I'm very excited. And I'm hoping that I can maybe make a trip up there to see it after it's installed. It'll be there, I think, for a couple of years after it's installed.
I only know one giant pigeon, and he serves pigeon milk.
I know, right? One very special, special pigeon, Brewster. Oh my gosh, it would be so cute to go and take a picture with Dinosaur, the giant pigeon, and have a little Brewster mascot with you.
You could bring your Brewster cookies. You could make cookies and bring it with you.
I could bring my Brewster cookies. I could get the little Brewster mug with his little sweet Brewster logo on the side, and it'll be sweet. It'll be adorable. Staged picture.
I'm interested.
Yes,
I'm
invested.
All relevant.
It's all Animal Crossing content and bird content. I like all
Somehow
of these things.
we are taking the real world and connecting it to Animal Crossing, and that's just what we do here on Pocket Pod.
That's just
what we've been doing.
That's
for many
our
years.
goal in life in general, is to connect things that we love to other things we love and make little lovely webs
Making
of
connections exactly
delights.
like this with fingers that do this.
Ooh, yes, like the pinchy boop 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 boop, boop, the little doop and the
Those listening that aren't on our Patreon are missing out on the fun finger action that's happening.
That's right.
I said that. We're done. We're moving on.
I feel like, and Leash is definitely still thinking about pondering the intricacies of solar
Leash
alignments,
looks like
and I love
that
it.
meme with the lady doing math overlaid in front of her face.
Yeah, that has like the algebraic equations and the geometric alignments.
Leash is a meme.
Nobody's asking this question, and I don't think it's very fair to me. But nobody is asking question.
No one's asking, like, why do solar alignments work? How are they consistent?
Well, how do they work consistently with a Gregorian calendar that is flawed?
Right. But is it because we bake in days to adjust it? So even though it is flawed, we kind of like have a buffer to be like, I don't know, but
for the time to be so specific, and the fact that the calendar is 0.25 of a day off.
But I mean,
every year.
The shadows are soft and fuzzy. So it probably, if you were measuring it up close, you would see there is more variation. Like, then it's not a perfect, perhaps to the
maybe it's
ground
9:33 on.
Well, that's my question. Well, is it?
Maybe it's forgiving enough.
Is it forgiving for the July 31st and the April 2nd?
Sarah, this was 40 today.
This was 40. Well, this is where we get to the question of the 40th years versus 40th anniversary issue.
A whole extra year in the middle.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is 41 years old, but it's the 40th anniversary, I guess.
I think that's what,
because the first one is not the first anniversary, it's just the first one.
That's it. So last year they were celebrating 40 years, even though it was 40 years ago. And this is the actual 40th anniversary.
They were celebrating the first anniversary of it. So tricky. Plus from there. So it's
the magic of numbers. I know, right? It's so that's what they were talking about last year.
Because it's zero.
Like, it's
You're
not
zero in the beginning.
You're zero. You're 0 years old.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, it's funny how
Does
things
that mean
work out.
I'm not 40? Have I been not 40?
Joelle, you're forever 21.
Yeah. No, I'm 39, just like my grandmother was forever. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. I kind of love it when folks decide to do that. I think that's precious.
I found a video from my childhood that we took, and my grandmother on it said, "Hi, I'm 39 years old."
Oh my goodness.
And I was alive, and she was 50 when I was born, so math, whatever, it's fine.
So you're saying she was fibbing at that point?
I suppose, but I didn't really understand the difference. I didn't think it was funny. I just went, "Oh, Nanny's 35 years old. 39 years old is fine."
Obviously.
Yeah.
35 is really old.
I understood later because, at that point, I think my mom was 30-something years old.
That doesn't make any sense.
How'd that work out? That's
magic.
Not how time
it's
works,
magic.
Is it?
It's magic. Well, thank you for the Dark Star Park August 1st, 9:32 a.m. update. For those that missed it, because you will by the time you hear this, I missed it by the time I'm saying this, come to Roslyn, Virginia in Arlington in 2025 at 9:32 a.m. on August 1st.
That'll be fun.
Or July 31st.
Eastern time.
And do a study.
I feel, and
start on July 31st and wait.
Just keep...
Arrive at 9:20 on July 31st and then wait 24 hours and 12 minutes.
Camp out forever. Just keep taking measurements. And I want to know if there's got to be other alignment public art installations.
Oh, yeah.
We should look that up and see.
That's a good point. We should find out more. I'm sure every city has them, I'm sure.
Yeah. And do they always align on the same day?
No.
Or does it change? No, not August 1st, obviously.
No, every installed art
they're all
in the
August
universe
1st at 9:32.
is just waiting for August 1st.
Yes.
I just mean, is it by a date or is it by a, the second whatever of this after the first moon of whatever?
When the moon is in the second house.
Specific based on...
I forgot the words.
Yeah, I don't know the parts. I know the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Something aligns with Mars.
Just don't. It's a song from a musical. It's the 70s hippy dippy fun time.
Is this
the dawning of the age of Aquarius?
See?
Yeah.
Sea Leash, it's a song.
Oh, I know the song.
Wow.
You made us do that for funsies, didn't you?
I did.
Well, fine.
Very nice.
Well, fine.
Accepted. Well
Accepted.
done. Yes.
Well, I don't know if you guys are ready to move to the next part of what's new, but it does involve a moment where we all join in my most favorite sound of every 2 to 4 years. Dun, 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 dun.
Joelle, your nails. Oh my gosh, you have Olympic ring color nails and it's so cute. I love it.
I won't tell you how many hours it took me to get that to not be terrible.
Oh, well, you did a great job.
I recently went on the Olympic store looking for a certain mascot friend. And while there, I found out that they have like pretty cheap nail polish of the 5 Olympic ring colors. So I bought it. It was cheap for a cheap reason. It was terrible. I had to like go find a separate brush and like use that to like mix it and then brush it on, because the brush it came with was more of like a dabber than a brush. It was terrible.
I'm surprised that like OPI or Essie or someone doesn't have like a sponsor.
I don't know if they'd have to obviously work with the Olympics blah 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 to do it, but they should, because these are terrible. These are truly terrible, and the box was kind of worn out, and you could kind of tell that maybe it had been sitting in a warehouse for a while, because I was the first person in like a century to order them. That's the vibe I got when I opened the box.
That is unfortunate. But I feel like maybe it's been around. Maybe that's why it wasn't
musty.
Selling. Oh,
the color's a little off.
Stale. Yeah,
but
maybe
I worked really hard to make it not look terrible.
Well, look, they look great though. You made it work.
I made it work.
Oh,
very proud of myself. I normally don't do nail polish because it takes too much time, and now I remember why. Anyway, so Olympics started on Friday night of this past week, and by the time people are hearing this, they'll be over. But that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine, because the Olympics are special.
Then there's no spoilers.
That's
true. Yes, that's true. There's nothing we could say that would be a spoiler, especially because even if in our old days, it would be the next morning, and it's not a spoiler if it's sports and it happens.
Well, sometimes they don't air stuff in countries until later and different times and stuff. If you don't have like the Peacock app, you have to wait until prime time.
I'm telling you, the Peacock app has changed my life this particular Olympics. I haven't had to like find weird ways of logging in with someone else's cable account.
They've done a really good job of like easily find stuff too. Yeah. Like I feel like last year and the year prior, like it was so impossible to like, I was like, I just want to go to the thing and press the thing and play the thing.
I missed the live X, and now I want to go see it.
Yes.
When can I see it? And there was no indication. There's no way to find it. And now, like, the thing airs. You have to wait a little bit for them to put the replays up, because I'm sure they have to be edited and processed and uploaded and yada yada. Some of them get cut in very weird ways. I had my experience on the first day of the Olympics was we were watching I think we were watching the gymnastics qualifiers, and it kept like cutting weirdly, like in the middle of someone's performance, it would just cut out, and then suddenly we're watching someone on rings instead of the pommel horse. And it was,
what a strange,
it was super weird. But it seems to be cleaner now. So I think they're having some worked out. Sure. I was like, is there like an AI that's like editing these videos, and it just needs to be better programmed?
Possibly. I know that when I worked at NBC, you could like volunteer to work at the Olympics, and editors would go and do like they'd just like pull from all of like the NBCs, and you could sign up and do stuff like that. Or you could be like an announcer. If you were an announcer, you could sign up to be an announcer.
Oh, that's fun.
So you might hear some like local announcers, or well, I guess not anymore, because now NBC is not in our local area, but some other local areas would have announcers or people that you might hear familiar from your local sports teams, which is kind of fun.
That's a cool idea. Cool. I didn't know about that. Actually, it's funny. I was trying to figure out why hotels in Stamford, Connecticut this coming weekend were hard to get and booked up. And I think I figured out it's because of the Olympics, because a lot of broadcasting happens there. So I
Sure
like
does.
literally I could not find a hotel room for Saturday night, but Sunday and Monday totally fine.
Oh,
Yep.
I was like, what the heck's going on in Stamford, Connecticut this weekend?
ESPN and NBC Sports.
Exactly. Yeah. So I remember during
yeah.
Tokyo that like most of the broadcast was happening in Stamford and not in Tokyo because they couldn't afford to send, you know.
And also
That makes
COVID
sense.
was still a thing.
Exactly.
That they didn't want to.
Yeah, that was the summer
that
of 2021, and that was
That is correct.
a rough time. But yeah, I was so dumbfounded, and if I did find a hotel, it was like $600 a night, which is like, I'm sorry, is this the middle of New York City, like by Broadway? Like, what is this? This was like
It's Connecticut,
in the middle of Stamford, Connecticut, where there's nothing.
Much to do. There's so much to do.
So anyway, I had to shift my plans by a day, so it's all good.
Yay.
But yeah, the Olympics have affected my life in these ways.
Following ways.
But yeah, so the Olympics, they started Friday. The opening ceremonies were fascinating. Did you watch any of it, either of you?
I did see bits of it, and I was very excited. I was very excited about the crazy, like, metal Gojira band appearance.
And I watched some of it.
Marie Antoinette. That was awesome. I was like,
the Marie Antoinette thing, like the Lady Gaga, like coming down the stairs. The parkour guy just running through the city with a mask on, and we never actually found out who that person was. That was really disappointing. We were sitting there and we're like, I bet it's gonna be like the famous French Olympian from blah blah blah, a bicycle person. Like I had no idea, and then they never revealed the person. It's like,
forever to be
just a symbol of Olympians and not an actual one.
Maybe that was important for them to have it be unnamed.
They did some fun things in the skate park on the way. The flotilla of boats was a fascinating idea. It made it very slow.
Oh,
very slow. And I was talking to some people, and they were like, "I missed the actual Parade of Nations, like where you can see them all." Yes. You can see all the Olympians, like, because they're walking in together in rows, as opposed to now they're clumped together in a boat, and you only see like the first 10 in the front. And
I didn't watch all of them, but I heard like some of the boats were little boats too.
Yeah,
like
the little boats were cute. Yeah, it was cute. Like suddenly there's like, I don't know, Puerto Rico on a tiny boat. I forget what they did, but certain countries, if they only had like 5 or so Olympians, they put them on their own little special boat. And then like when I think like when France came out or whatever, it was like this giant, probably $1 billion yacht. Like it was fancy. It looked very fancy. And then some were just like regular canal boats. It was an interesting idea. And then when they got to the Trocadero, I don't know how to pronounce that in French. It sounds like a Spanish word, but they call it the Trocadero. It's the land that they landed on that's just right across the water from the Eiffel Tower. They had this really cool runway that was the shape of like the shadow of the Eiffel Tower.
That's cool. That's a great idea.
There's a lot of runway stuff. The runway stuff was fun. It featured like drag queens and stuff, which was awesome.
That's so cool.
And then the torch was a balloon. That is nowhere near where they were.
But okay.
It was interesting. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was pretty, and then it was over there. And I have not seen the torch since.
Wow.
Like they don't give us like a pan of the torch because it's not near anything.
But Snoop Dogg got to carry the torch.
Yes, he did. Did you guys see that the torch looked like a joint?
No.
What?
If you looked at the torch, it was like thin on the top and bottom and like round in the middle. And there's Snoop Dogg holding it. And I don't think a single person looked at that picture and didn't think, oh, wow, it's a giant joint.
That's so funny. Oh, well, hey, you know.
But it was awesome that he got to carry it. He has been a presence in the Olympics.
Oh, sure has.
He's been interviewed. He's swam with Michael Phelps because apparently Michael Phelps is still relevant.
Oh.
I'm really tired.
Is he like? What is? I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I'm like, NBC has been very blatant about their like cross-promotional portions of the Olympics, which has been very frustrating for me to watch because it's like very obvious to me, having worked there, that they're like like the whole Wicked people. I'm like, why are they dressed up? Why are they there, and why are they dressed up?
Obviously
like
promotional.
that's very frustrating.
Everyone's here to promote their upcoming project, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the angle for Snoop Dogg is. Like, is there something coming up?
He seems to just be doing all sorts of projects with NBC right now. I don't think there's one thing in particular, but I saw a show with him pop up.
Yeah, is he doing The Voice or something? Is he a judge for The Voice?
He's going to be on The Voice.
He's going to be a judge on The Voice. Yes, that's right. But yeah, there's a few other things that came up, and I was like, oh, Snoop Dogg's in that too. And apparently he was it him that single-handedly funded... No, who was it that single-handedly funded the polo team, the water polo team? I think that was Snoop Dogg. So the water polo team was having a hard time like getting enough money to come to the Olympics, and he, unless I'm mistaking him for someone else, someone did, if not him, funded. That's wonderful, though. Celebrity funded this team so that they could actually come to the Olympics.
Wow,
because I was like, that's right. Women's sports are not like given the same amount of opportunities, and they make it harder. Like all these women were working like 3 jobs to be able to pay for the Olympics. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they already have to put in so many hours to like work and be great athletes, and
like,
then they have
you
to
also need like
double
this
up
job
and triple up on
and
jobs.
Another job because neither of them are going to pay enough because you have to part-time yourself with the sports and the whole thing with like Olympians, like not like you only get money if you win a medal. Like it's tough. That is tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the fact that like he or someone like him did it. Sorry, I'm like second guessing whether or not it was him.
That's okay. Well, regardless, some benefactor,
some lovely person,
awesome.
And then they said they're like, everyone should do this. You too can help an Olympian get to the Olympics. And I was like, I love that. I kind of love that. So these people work their butts off and they want to represent the U.S. and, you know, they're not getting the same opportunity that like the big sports are getting, right?
Sure.
Like, you know, the ones that are front and center, basketball, gymnastics, swimming, track and field, like those all get more attention, thus more advertising and money. And then, the water polo wasn't exactly everyone's favorite sport.
Yeah, I guess there's no brand that's like Nike isn't going to sponsor water polo probably.
Right.
Like
and
any of the big brands.
So it's more expensive. Wow. So, I think that's cool.
But good job.
Other highlights? Well, gymnastics has been a highlight. In case you haven't heard, Simone Biles is feeling great and doing great and being awesome. And she has this giant smile on her face, and her whole team is awesome. And Team USA, it's like the one time I was like super excited for Team USA.
Team USA did a great job.
Yeah, they were wonderful.
That was great to watch.
I've also been enjoying the fact that swimming is not dominated by the U.S. for the first time in, Michael Phelps's life. It's been really cool. Like seeing like, the South African swimmer, like just own everyone else in the pool and, the Australian rivalry, which is nonsense, and like seeing different people win. And it's not just American again. It's just really nice. Oh, I actually like that. That there's, and then there's the famous, he's famous in France, but he's famous to everyone now. French swimmer, and he's doing like miraculous stuff in the pool, and he already has like 3 gold medals. Like he's killing it. So
nice.
And he's literally the Paris Olympics like hope. If nothing else, we have Paris. Leon Marchand, I think is his name. I'm sure I pronounced that terribly. Leon.
Oh, that sounds good to
Marchand.
Me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Marchand. Yeah, because it's
Marchand.
A
and D at the end. Leash, have you watched any Olympics?
Yes.
Anything you liked and want to talk about?
I really enjoyed the Team USA for the women's gymnastics.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to track. I haven't watched the solo gymnastics, so don't tell me. I mean, I know what happens, but don't tell me anything special.
I won't tell you anything special.
No spoilers for Leash.
I literally finished it like an hour ago.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be zipped. I was only talking about the team competition.
Yes, I watched the team, and that was I love Jordan Childs. She's awesome. She's probably my favorite. She is competing in the floor medal event,
which is I think Sunday.
Nice.
So I was like, I just want to see her go one more time. She literally winked at the camera in the middle of her routine.
She sure did.
That's so cool. She literally winked at the camera and then went flip.
What a star. That's so cool.
I love her. I love her so much.
Sherpy is into watching this YouTube personality, Salish Matter. I don't know if you're familiar with her or her dad. Her dad is Jordan Matter. He's like one of the first YouTube influencer. I don't know. He's old. Sure. He's freaking old. But
old man
Salish
YouTube.
is like a teenager, and she's really into gymnastics, and she had Jordan Childs on one of her episodes.
Oh, fun.
And we just watched it like last week. And she was like, Jordan was just like so nice to this girl. Aww. And they like did like a little competition together. And Salish is like she's like an intermediate level gymnast.
Sure.
Gymnastixer. And she's like, I can't do that. You're an Olympic, gymnast. And like she was just like so nice. She's like, don't tell yourself that. You got this. You can do this. And like they did like so this. It was just a very cute little thing. And then so I got to see like a little bit more of her personality in this YouTube thing. And now watching her and like seeing her and her personality at the Olympics was really, really.
She's so joyful. I feel like she was the cheerleader for like not just her team, but like everyone.
And she was so excited and proud of herself after she did like a really good job on the things that she worked on. And it was just like really,
I really love
positive and nice
when they're done and they're like, they smile. They are I loved what I just did.
She was just like, I crushed it. She's like, yeah. I'm like, yes. You knew it. You knew it. You knew you did a good job.
That. She did like this big, yes.
It's like, I nailed it.
You just want to reach in and give her a hug. She was all
like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah. And I was really excited that the British women's team and the Brazilian women's team also did really well. Because we always talk about the U.S. team because we have, some of the best ever on that team. But like the fact that now that, so it's negative in that the Russians did the things that they did, and now they're not allowed to come and compete in the Olympics. But it means that other teams are getting a chance to shine finally, and we're seeing how awesome and how big the field is. And I love seeing new blood on the podium in the Olympics. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So we should probably take a break, and then I think we're gonna cross with some animals. So we should definitely
sounds great.
Okay. Take a break.
I have yet to find a quiet thing to drink out of. It made like the whistling sound when I drink. Welcome back from our break.
Hi.
It happened. We had a break. Leash,
we were on a break.
Do you have a song? We were on a break. Do you have a song for us, Leash?
Are we at that point?
I think we're at that point. We're about that time. It's about that time.
I wrote it down so I could remember. But it's the words. So anyway.
You got it.
It's not fair to deny me the crossing with animals that you say to me. You ought to know.
Yeah.
I gotta get that cadence right. It took me a second.
It was good. I like it. I like it a lot. It was beautiful.
Just
it was perfect.
Sneak all those extra syllables in. Why not?
It works. It's what we needed.
You made it sound natural.
You made it happen.
So we are technically still in JB's Olympic roundup.
Yes.
Because I want to talk about the animals of the Olympics.
Yes.
And not the horses in equestrian. I don't know a lot about them. I am talking about the mascots through the years.
Hey.
Mascots of the ages.
I did research on all the mascots from the beginning of the Olympics. And
oh my God. Are we going to be here all night?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Forever. Every animal.
In my research, I selected my top 10 favorite mascots. And I wrote a little blog that is through the Great Pop Culture Debate podcast. And I'll share that link in the show notes for this episode.
Love it.
But I had so much fun learning about all the different animals that they have used to represent the Olympics, and some of them that are not quite animals. And as we talked about several months ago, probably like a year ago, frankly, this year's mascots for the Paris Olympics are not animals at all. They are hats. They're caps.
So cute.
They're so cute. Have you seen them break dance and surf? And
No.
So if you go to the Olympics website and you go to each individual like sport, like go to volleyball, whatever, they have an animated Frisian cap doing the sport. And I'm obsessed. I think I looked at 30 of them over the weekend.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna look.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, can I do it on my phone?
I should be able to. Yeah, go to Olympics.org probably. Let me see if I can find a link.
Wait, is it Olympics.org or .com?
.com. Sorry.
Okay.
.com. It's .com.
Artistic gymnastics.
Whew.
So if you go to the games and then you go to sports,
cute.
You can then pick any sport. So I'm going to pick canoe sprint. Who knew?
Ooh.
And I'm going to see a adorable Frisian cap in a canoe with an oar on water. This one does not appear
I'm going to do
animated.
Equestrian. Let's see.
Why is it not animated? Maybe they're not animated.
Maybe they only animate them for maybe they have little animated
Oh my gosh.
things for on the videos, maybe?
Well, I can tell you that they animated some of them because if you are a Visa card user and you use Google Pay, and you pay for things with your Visa on Google Pay during the Olympics, you get to earn a bunch of animated Frisian cap badges.
That's so cool.
And I have I've collected 3 so far, which means I've been buying too many things.
Have you been influenced to buy more things because you want to collect more gifts?
I have just been influenced to remember to use my Google Pay and not my card. All the things I bought were things I was going to buy.
Did
I separate things into 2 separate purchases just so I could get extra points? Maybe.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I can show you what I got.
Oh my gosh. These
this
are
is
so
the break
cute,
dancer.
Oh my gosh, yes, he's not animated. I'm looking at a little still image of him. Oh my gosh.
So he's animated
so
here, and I've seen him animated other places, but this is the para athlete.
Oh, let me see. Oh, the little blade. So cute.
Oh my gosh.
And then this is my surfer friend.
Oh my goodness. This
is it so moving? Perfect. I can't tell.
Yes. I can see him moving and the little splash.
And I haven't earned the other 3 yet, but there's 6 in total. So
they're cute.
I still have things I need to buy. What? What'd you find?
Badminton.
Is badminton a cute one?
It's super cute. It's the cutest I found so far.
Oh, with the tongue sticking out.
The focus.
The little
energy.
Tongue is
cute.
It's what Tigger does when I distract him while he's licking himself. He looks up like that.
Oh my gosh, these are the preciousest.
It's really cute. Well, anyway, these are not actually animals. What they're anthropomorphized caps, and that's adorable too. And they're perfect with their little flag eye mascara or whatever you want to call eyelashes. They're super cute. But in the process of my little research, I was reminded of mascots from Olympics past. And I picked my favorite of them. It took a long time. I was going through all of them and I was like, well, this one's really great. This one's kind of boring. I don't remember this one. This one has a lot of meaning. Anyway, I wanted to go through a few of them. We don't have to go through all of them.
All of them.
It's very important that I get to one in particular, but I'm going to start at the top of my list. So in 1972, the very first Olympic mascot was introduced, and it was this dachshund, this colorful, 70s colors dachshund named Waldy. And they actually mapped the marathon route to match the shape of Waldy. Which is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh my gosh, he's adorable. That's a great look. So it's very very color block mod adorableness.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
And they actually did make a plushie of him all those years ago. Imagine a soft version of him. I would snuggle all the time.
Yes.
So Waldy is super adorable. So he was the very first. And after 1972, then they had him at every Olympics, winter and summer. Some were better than others. Some were afterthoughts.
Why was his name Waldy? Do we know?
I think there was a reason, but it wasn't particularly interesting. It may have been named after someone's something.
And he was designed by Otto Aker, who is super famous designer guy. So that's kind of amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I was reading too. As I was going through them, they usually found one of the bbest designers of that country, so cool. to get to work on them.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That was 1972. There's a picture at the very bottom of my blog post where you could see. Did I put it in there? No, it's at the top actually. I linked to it.
Top of the post.
And it's where you see stuffed animals in the second paragraph. You can see all the plushies that they have in this museum.
Did you give us the link already?
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. The link is in our
the follow-ups
podcast topics under Crossing with Animals.
Of course it is. I'm silly goose. I was looking at the wrong thing.
I'll share this link with the class in the show notes too.
Thank you.
But there's some sort of display case in some sort of Olympics museum or something, I don't know where this is taken, of all of the mascots that they could get access to, including like the weird one from Albertville, which was this clown thing. This blue figure with a red Frisian hat, even back then. The weird toe-shaped people from, I think that's the Athens Olympics.
Holy cow.
Some very weird ones. But yeah, so the other ones that I really, really, really loved, if you guys remember the Sydney Olympics, it was the first time Olympics were ever in Australia. And they introduced us to a bunch of animals that like the rest of the world doesn't really know a lot about. There was the porcupine that was not a porcupine.
It's an echidna.
Echidna, thank you. And there was platypus and
a kookaburra.
The kookaburra. And
he sits in an old gum tree.
Kookaburra.
Merry old king of the bushes, he.
And then also, things I didn't know, Paralympics have had mascots for this whole time, but they just weren't given a lot of attention before they started making them partners. You know how like there's like a duo now that
they match together. They
haven't done that forever, and so there was a separate Paralympic mascot, and it was the frilled-necked lizard.
What a splendid lizard! Oh my gosh, she's got little eyelashes.
I know, I didn't even notice the eyelashes. So does
the echidna has it too.
Yeah, the echidna.
Oh my gosh,
name was Millie.
Millie, she's very sweet.
Their names were Ollie for the Olympics, Sid, the duck-billed platypus for Sydney, and Millie because it was the Millennium 2000 Olympics.
That's cute.
And then Lizzie, the frilled-necked lizard, is as short for lizard, so they didn't really try at that point.
Yes, we were like, we can't think of anything else.
But I remember they had like big, like people dressed up in the big costumes.
Wow.
And I remember thinking they were super cool in 2000. And they were just animals I didn't know a lot about. I mean, I knew everyone knew platypus, but I didn't know the other three very much at all. I knew the kookaburra song, but I didn't know it was real. Thought it was like a fake animal.
Oh my gosh, it was great to learn that it's a real thing.
Yeah. So in 2016, I'm skipping to my number 7, which is the Rio Olympics.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
This is Vinicius and Tom. Vinicius, yeah. And they were named for the people that wrote the song "The Girl from Ipanema." I went to watch that music video, and it was you can't not watch it. It's this monotone lady just singing, and it's lovely and wonderful. But their style is designed to represent like all of the flora and fauna of Rio. So the Vinicius, the cat, bird, monkey on the left is designed after 3 different animals.
Wow.
I'm trying to find where I wrote that down. It just says cats, monkeys, and birds, but somewhere there was like the official animals.
You know what? I would guess, looking at that creature, I would say
please.
Their body shape is very monkey-like. They've got the longer limbs and the long curling tail.
That green tail is a giveaway.
They've got the ears of a cat.
Kitty ears. Yep.
And the colors of many of the colorful parrots that we have in Brazil.
The parrot wing arms.
Yes.
and then Tom, who's the tree looking thing, like he looks like a little tree sprite. And he's meant to represent like several different plants and the bushy trees. And there's like, I don't know what's going on at the top, but it's like some sort of berries or something.
Yeah.
It's like adorable. And if you look at the plushie picture, they are in there, I believe. At least Vinicius is. I don't know if I see Tom in there. At the very bottom, next to the Japanese robot friends and under the Frisian cap. Yeah, it was just super fun. What is the other one I want to talk about? Number 3. I want to talk about number 3.
Number three.
I was not born in 1980, and even if I was, I wouldn't have remembered that there was an adorable
my goodness,
bear mascot named Misha from the Moscow Olympics.
Very cute.
I also didn't know when I was searching for Frisian caps on the Olympics website that I would fall in love with him and end up buying him, and I have him.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Look at his little belt. Even he's so precious.
Belt. He's got his weightlifter's belt. He's got on the back. He's got the whole belt with the thingy, and he's got his cute little eyes.
Oh my goodness! His little face. He's precious.
For whatever reason, his ears are doing the Tigger thing, so he has a lucky ear here.
He's got a floppy ear and a up and perky ear.
And because I'm the daughter of my mother, I left the tag on because that's what I do.
Well, how will you know his value if you don't still have his tag with all his original
They have
information?
a heritage collection on that website, on the Olympics website.
Does it have a tag protector?
No, I'd have to make one manually myself. He was on sale when I bought him, and I was very excited. And I love the picture of Misha that they have that they use for the Olympics, because he's got just this like sassy little stance, like he's looking over his shoulder.
Yeah,
and
he's so cute.
Looks like his butt's wiggling, and he's like dancing.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with him. I had no idea I would fall in love with a bear from the Russian Olympics in 1980.
So
but I did, and now he's mine.
He's a wonderful bear.
Cute.
And then the other one is from my very favorite Olympics, which is the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. For whatever reason, they're my favorite. I think it's because it's when I discovered curling, and that's when I fell in love with curling. But they were so cute. We got the Sasquatch, big old Sasquatch. You got Miga, who's this like orca and bear combined into one cute little
sea bear.
Yeah, it's a sea bear. Yep, it's a thing. It's a thing in the folklore of the region. Sumi is the Paralympic buddy who I didn't remember at all because they never brought the Paralympic friends out during the Olympics, and it's silly, and they should.
Yeah.
And he is wearing, my favorite part about him is that he's wearing a cap, so he looks like, where does it say it? He's wearing he looks like the whale. He has got a whale shaped cap because it has like the orca fin and the and then he has the wings of a thunderbird, and he has the bear legs, kind of like the Sasquatch.
Fluffy. Yes.
He's a little combination animal too. So I almost wonder if Vinicius is sort of based off of him. I don't know. And then Muk Muk, who's literally everyone's cheerleader. He's just this
tiny and cute.
He's
marmot.
a sidekick. He's here to.
He's a sidekick, exactly. Anyway, I fell in love with the Olympic mascots all over again and met some new ones. And I recommend doing your own research because there's a bunch that I didn't cover.
That's wonderful.
Muk Muk, although a designated sidekick, was a runaway success, capturing the hearts of game goers everywhere.
I believe
including the impromptu protest. Oh, okay, great.
If you go back up to the very top of this article, I have the honorable mention is for Izzy, the Atlanta mascot, who was an amorphous blue blob.
Oh my goodness!
With a torch. And then they didn't even give him like a proper friend for the Paralympics. They just made this seal kind of thing of a lovely bird with fire, but the one has nothing to do with the other, and it looks like an afterthought.
I think Izzy makes me think he could be like a mascot for like a dentist's office for some reason.
He looks like a tooth. He's a walking tooth.
He's a little tooth guy.
He's a toofer.
His name Izzy is a nickname for the term "what is it?"
Yeah, they named him "What is it?" and everyone went, "Y'all are wrong. It's not. You can't call it what is it? That's terrible." So when they went,
it's
to
1996 though, so yeah, they can, because that's when they do. Stuff.
Everything was weird, but apparently in the market research and the feedback from the media and press, it was so negative that they went back. They revamped him. They they made his sneakers bigger, and they gave him like more sportiness. He was too blob like and didn't represent athletes well enough apparently.
Then they named him Izzy. Doesn't.
Was the direction make him more like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Honestly, the eyes couldn't be bigger. Yeah,
he's so cute. Izzy, we appreciate you.
But yeah, he's not an animal. He's an amorphous blob. Literally, the stuff I read about him, the things people said.
Oh no!
If you read the middle of that of the second paragraph, you'll see exactly what they called him in Time magazine.
Wow. Oh wow! Yikes.
They weren't wrong.
They weren't fans.
I actually likened him to Clippy. That was my. My reference point for him. And honestly, what's more 1996 than a character that's resembles Clippy, but carries a torch.
Oh my gosh.
Clippy
in a Homestar Runner Halloween cartoon from 2003, the cheat is dressed up as Izzy.
We found it. We found it and we watched it, and it was adorable. God. It was such a throwaway moment. Like you could barely tell what his character was.
Oh my
they
God.
love obscure costumes in Homestar Runner.
Yes,
I love it every time.
And anything that Cheat does is good. So.
Oh, obviously.
That is my Olympics mascot roundup. Do you guys have any mascots you remember?
Oh my gosh, those are great.
Just the most recent one.
Yeah. Well,
there's a reason why they're number one on my list. Like, it's probably recency bias. I don't know, but they are perfect.
Well, I also remember, was it the panda from the most recent Winter Olympics was adorable. Bing was
Bing Wen.
Bing Wen.
Yes. There was
very cute.
There was the panda, and they reminded me. So I also have the from the South Korean Olympics from Pyeongchang. They have the Suharang and Bandabi, and I honestly stared at those two back to back, and I was like, which do I like better? Because I feel like I couldn't put both on my list, and I ended up deciding I really liked the white tiger and the really sweet bear for the Paralympics, Bandabi.
Those are great designs. That's like you said, they hire, except for Izzy, which was a little questionable. The designs are like so exquisite. Like I'm like, oh yeah, you got this. It looks, just the essence is so good. It's got a good energy. They're very cute.
You know what Izzy is? Izzy is the result of too much market research.
Yeah, there you
right?
go.
It's like when you make the logo from everyone's feedback, and it's literally just garbage on a thing.
Why don't you let the person you hired do the work that you hired them to do instead of pummeling them with 5,000 requests?
I feel like the designer might have had a lot of pressure and felt like they needed to do something special, and the special turned into...
It was a lot of pressure.
That's true.
There was a couple quotes from him in the Wikipedia or wherever, something I was reading. And yeah, you could tell he was definitely like, yeah, we tried this and no one wanted that. And we tried
that sucks.
Like, he's like, I just gave up, basically, is how that was worded.
Man, wouldn't it be
cool?
And
it kind of looks like what happens when you just give up.
Yeah. I would love to see...
Oh, you want the kitchen sink? Here, I'll draw you a blob kitchen sink.
I mean, because that's what happens sometimes, but I would love to see the original draft and then the second draft, and then...
Somewhere I bet there's the original... There's the pre-Olympics version of what is it? Somewhere out there you can see that. But I don't know if you can see the creative process part.
That
might
that's
be hidden
lost
forever.
To the ages. Yeah,
if you can find that design agency, maybe they have it saved in like a drawer somewhere.
It's
1996. Like, what were they on computers or something?
They had to save it all on what was it? What's the zip drives? Not zip drives.
It was a floppy disk. It was
zip disks. Zip disks. Those are ones where you could hold a whole gigabyte on a single disk.
Oh, no. When I bought zip disks in college, you could put a whole 50 megabytes on that.
Oh, 50 megabytes? Oh my gosh, was it that small?
Or 100 megabytes. It was 100 megabytes. And then they made the bigger ones that was 250.
Oh my gosh,
the 250s kept crashing and you lose all your stuff anyway.
100 megabytes were the way to go. I don't know why I forgot. Of course it was 100 megabytes.
I like the 250 because they were rounded and the 100 megabytes were more squared off like a floppy disk. I could talk about discs apparently all day.
Wow.
The other shameless plug I will say is that on the Great Pop Culture Debate, we also did an episode on our favorite summer sport, just summer sports, like period. Nice. Like we literally compared track and field to swimming to gymnastics, and we just decided which was the best of all of them in Summer Olympics.
Oh wow.
So it was a fun debate. I had so much fun. It was adorable. I was reliving my childhood the whole time.
That's sweet. That sounds delightful.
Sarah, I want to hear all about your walk.
Oh,
Can you tell us about your walk?
It won't take too long.
A walk to remember
with animals.
Was it a walk to remember? And how many animals did you cross with?
We crossed so many animals. I've got to say, most of those animals were insects, which are a type of animal.
Where were you? What was it?
Oh, well, this was a walk with the Capital Naturalist, who is a local naturalist who's actually a master naturalist from, I think, it's for the city of Arlington, Virginia, I think. Yeah. So his name is Alonzo, and he was very knowledgeable. He was wonderful because this guy was first very approachable, very happy to talk about any animals that we came across. And he was a delight was that he liked to say, I don't specialize in any one thing, but I know enough about a lot of things to just get me into trouble. But no, he was very, very knowledgeable, like loads of insects and
he's
all the
capital
plants.
Naturalist generalist.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, he said that, and yet I feel like he would just be able to identify anything. That's what it felt like. But I mean, cool. That's always what it's like when you're learning stuff. It's exciting, and he was just very
the expert is in front of you. I will learn all the things.
Yes, I will absorb all the knowledge. Man, we learned so much stuff from everything from like the tiniest little bugs that I thought was like a little beetle that was actually a beautiful tiny moth that had like orange and yellow wings that were folded back so smoothly. And a lot of them, guys, I'm sorry to say, I don't remember their names because it was all the scientific genus names that I'm like, in one ear and out the other, but very interesting.
Got a lot of A's and E's and I's in the middle and letters around them. Yep.
Yeah. But it was great. I mean, it was enthralling. I feel like we learned so much. But there were other ones that I like picked up on, like especially the plants that we learned about. Ooh. We learned about how at Brookside Gardens, this is at Brookside Garden, which is in Montgomery County, Maryland. It's a beautiful public. Well, it's it's owned by the county, I think. But either way,
so too.
Yeah. So it's like free to go into. It's great. It's all these manicured gardens that are both combinations of native plants. A lot of the plants are native, and that's great, especially for when we're looking at native wildlife, and also cultured plants that are, introduced, but they're contained. But anyway, one of the things that I thought was especially cool was something called common bladderwort, which was this just beautiful little yellow flowers that were all growing up in the pond. They look almost like tiny snapdragons. Ooh. But apparently they're not just pretty flowers. They're also a aquatic carnivorous plant, because they've got these little tiny bladders that whenever a tiny little animal gets close to them, the tiniest bladders, which are like the size of a head of a pin, will open up and suck in the little creature, and then the digestive juices inside that will process the food for the plant. And it's so cool.
A bug eating mini baby plant.
Yes, it was very cute. But they're like, they're so beautiful and so cool. Yeah. You would never suspect that they were there nomming on the little aquatic life.
Tiny little fries.
Like I was gonna say, like little size of fruit flies, probably.
Oh man,
really
maybe
tiny.
Even smaller.
Smaller. Like speck flies. I don't know what to call those.
Speck flies, or like water bears and Daphnia. Who even knows? Like the tiniest of tiny little Euglena. I don't remember all those different microscopic bugs and stuff we learned about back in the day. But just so many cool things like that. Like what else did we learn? Oh, also something I thought that was really neat was Alonzo talked about how a lot of plant species and insect species are dependent on specifically dependent on one type of plant. Like we know about the monarch, it's so famous and loves the milkweed, but there's other butterflies that are just dependent on one plant, or beetles or other animals. And just, it was really cool. And he's like, yeah, anytime there's native plants, there's a chance that there's some species of insect that's very dependent on that for reproducing. Ooh. Or it's just very cool. So that's why native plants are so important. Yep. Even though non-native plants can be beautiful and also provide food for those plants, they might not give them the chance to reproduce, which is so vital to keep everything thriving and working nicely together. It was very cool.
That's very cool.
I know something else that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Just for our local area. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there sure are a lot of bunnies this year.
Oh,
and I've actually seen fewer bunnies this year than in previous years, which is interesting.
For me, I've had a lot more bunnies, but but one thing that could be maybe just like, especially in my area, there's been, or at least around here, and there's been a more mange that has taken over the fox population. So we have fewer foxes. So this is just a natural part of the cycle that every few years, whenever there's like a boom in mange, the fox population and predators decrease, and then the bunnies go crazy, and there's all these little bunnies.
I hear they multiply like bunnies.
So exactly. Like,
can I tell you some other stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know if Alonzo told you about this, but the red foxes are not native to our area. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's so wild. They're introduced.
But I don't think they're invasive, but they're not native. So when they get mange, we are not allowed to do anything to help them because it is the only way that, or one of the major ways that it controls their population.
It's natural selection, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as sad as it looks to see like foxes that are like basically looking really rough, you can't do anything about it. And also because they could be carriers of rabies. So there's two reasons why they wouldn't do it, but they're also not native. So I thought that was very interesting that red foxes are so common and so beautiful, but they're actually they're not from this area.
So that's interesting, but gray foxes are native to our area,
Gray foxes, yes.
The only foxes apparently that can climb trees, which is crazy. I've never seen one climbing a tree, but it's possible. So don't be surprised if you see it happen. But I don't know if that would ever be something I'd be lucky enough to witness. But it's still very cool. But yeah, red foxes, I had no idea they weren't native. They do a good job of helping keep, maybe it's also because they don't compete. That's why it's not an issue.
Yeah, I don't think they compete. Yeah.
That's why. So they're not hurting native species.
And probably because we haven't seen so many bunnies, as I do know that there was there was definitely a family of foxes that lived in our neighbor's backyard for a while. And sadly, one of the kits was attacked by a burb.
Oh my! Wow. Oh, so it was a hungry burb. I take it.
Well, unclear because
big burb.
The maybe it couldn't pick it up or something because
that
it
could
was
happen.
left in the lawn.
Its eyes were bigger than its
just
talons.
Oh, pecked?
Just dead. No, just dead.
Oh.
Just dead.
That's so peculiar.
It was I didn't see it happen, but someone said that there was a bird and there was a kerfuffle, and it was like literally in our neighbor's yard, and it was very sad. We had to call people to get it removed.
Wow. That is very unusual.
But the other kit was fine with his mama, so it was good. But there are lots of foxes in our area, so that's probably why I haven't seen so many bunnies.
Yeah, so that's good. So you have the healthy family that's living, not having bunnies. A hard time. They're so sweet.
they're unmanged.
Unmanged, yeah.
And happy fruffies.
I have to say, like in my own personal backyard, we would usually see red foxes, and I haven't seen them. Although back when I'm over like back in the woods, further out when I'm exploring out there, that's usually where I see gray foxes. So that's like they're both in our general region. Mm-hmm. But less of the screaming red foxes lately, that's for sure. Because sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night and those bad boys sound like little goblins.
They're chatty.
They're little chattery goblins, little screamy screamers.
Earlier in the season, the number of people that posted on like the local Facebook group, and they're like, I have these friends in my backyard or under my house or living under my porch or this or that. How do I get rid of them? And the number of responses that are don't. Don't.
You just leave them.
Leave them alone. Are they in the backyard? Go out your front door. Like,
give them some
leave
space.
them alone. They will move on. And like at this point, I didn't know anything about foxes until a few years ago, and now I feel like I know plenty.
All the things.
I was about to write. Don't. You're supposed to leave them there. Like,
just leave them.
Yeah, it's not hard to figure that one out.
They don't stay.
Most of nature, if you can just leave. I get so frustrated when people want to have their snakes removed or have an exterminator come for snakes. I'm like, the snakes are good.
Yes, bring them to my neighborhood.
The snakes, they're the reason why you don't have rats.
Yeah.
And they're a way to like control Lyme disease and like other diseases.
Yeah. Oh, snakes.
I haven't seen any snakes in my backyard, and I'm very sad because I keep giving them things for them to enjoy. I'm like, I'm making this a nice habitat for you. Please come.
Yes.
Please come eat my things.
And
although I'm pretty sure Tilly would probably murder them.
Well, they probably could hide away, tuckle under some rocks and stones and find a good little burrow to keep safe. And you know what? It could be one of those things where they are around. They're just very good at hiding, so you don't get to see them.
Maybe. I want to be my snake friend.
Secret snakes.
Secret snake.
I like snakes.
Yes, I like snakes.
Wonderful. Oh, man. Well, thank you for sharing, Sarah.
Of course. That was delightful.
I hope we can go to the next one, especially if it's in the fall. That'll be nice.
That'd be great. Yes, I definitely gave a very positive review. I was like, please invite him back for more walks.
I'm more interested when it's not 100 degrees out. That's my jam.
I've got to say, it was so humid. It wasn't the hottest day that Saturday, but boy, oh boy, the humidity was I was so tired after I got back home.
I bet.
Being in the humidity makes a difference.
Well, one more thing is Alonzo also has a website and a Facebook group that you can join called The Capital Naturalist. And I think his blog is also called The Capital Naturalist. And he does have a YouTube blog as well. And you're allowed to post one thing to his Facebook group a month, or there's like, you can't spam his Facebook group is what he's saying.
What about this? I was hiking. I just saw this, right? Like, you don't want
Yeah. And he approves every single post that comes through. And so he wants to curate it, but he encourages people to ask questions about like, what's this thing? And he'll answer them, or he'll let other people answer them.
And if it's an honest, earnest question, it'll be good. If it's like, you could have Googled this, why are you asking me? He probably won't.
Well, no, actually, he'll even answer like, that's a lanternfly. Like,
squash it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, public service announcement for the United States folks. If you learn about lanternflies, they might be in your area. So whenever you see it and learn about them, make sure you squash them, because they are not great for our plants in our area. And nothing eats them.
Especially agriculture.
Yes.
Very bad for vineyards. Eating them, but there's not enough data to understand the impact of things. Things are eating them.
Oh, that's encouraging.
It's been observed, but to what extent they're actually they have predators is not known yet, because they're so new and they're
just
so
random animals curious.
Yeah,
what's this?
and
nom, nom, nom.
And I don't think that the animals and predators even know that they're something to be eaten yet.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
Aren't they like some of them?
Time will
like,
tell.
In some stages, they're definitely red and white spotted, which is like danger colors, right? So that's that's a flag.
Yep,
why
the nymphs. People
So they might
take
be poison.
dust busters and suck them up, or vacuums. That's how the easiest way to get them off of things, because they hatch in masses, so things will be like infested.
Oh
so
no,
that's one of the easiest ways. And then you can freeze them or squish them or however you want. You put them in a little bag.
Yeah, and it's
so you collect them in a bag and put them in the freezer.
Oh, that's a way to.
No, thank you.
That's like if,
or you can just put them. Yeah, but the idea is to make sure they're killed before you dispose of them.
Yeah.
Right.
So that they could,
because if they're not
potentially
fully dead,
escape,
they could definitely find friends. And expand their.
And the good thing is they don't sting and they aren't poisonous to animals or pets, so that's good. So you can just squish them and freeze them without fear of hurting yourself or your animal.
Yeah, and
so
for the most part,
they're that's their worst.
And
sin.
primarily vineyards and agriculture.
Okay.
That's why they're a problem.
You don't spray them with anything because that wouldn't be necessary. You collect them and
don't spray them at home. Don't
spray your stuff
in general.
Don't spray your stuff because it
spray
also hurts
everything
all
in
the
my house.
native things that are around. Right. It doesn't discriminate against.
The chemicals don't know what to.
It's magic. It only knows what a lanternfly is.
Wow, wouldn't that be great? That would be great. We need magic for bugs, man. Can you imagine how easy it is in the wizarding world to take care of invasive insects?
Take a wand and just be like, only lanternflies, and then all the other bugs go, thank you.
They are very pretty, though. I will say that.
I know, that's the crazy
beautiful.
thing, right? Oh yeah, they're in Animal Crossing, guys.
We have lanternflies in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, they're one of the ones that land on trees. I don't know if they're not the same lanternfly, but they are a lanternfly. They're one of the big.
Searching what the Animal Crossing looks like. Okay. It's got big fancy wings.
Big fancies. It's one of the big tree trunk landing insects.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Animal Crossing. It's a crossing with an animal. Crossing back to Animal Crossing the game.
We did it.
Wraps it right back around.
For some reason, I'm looking at a picture of whatever this koala is. Alice. I'm looking at Alice instead of...
Aw, Alice.
Animal Crossing.
I imagine all of the koalas have an Australian accent. Do you do that?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
How couldn't
cool.
they?
Just checking.
I don't necessarily think I did that, but if you asked me what they sounded like, I would have gotten there.
They all have an Australian accent.
The kangaroos too, right?
Yeah.
No. Nope. Just the koalas. In my
you make the rules in your own head. You can do whatever you want in there.
That's very true.
All right, my dear friends, we should probably end our fun episode here. Thanks for listening, people who are listening. Thank you, Leash.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, JP.
You're welcome. Thanks to Jack Quaitblank of Monkey Cat and apparently now Monkey Cat Thunderbird Studios. That's the Venetius, the mascot that was the monkey and the cat and the Thunderbird. It made sense in my head.
I love
it.
I did it. And thanks to everyone listening. And don't forget that the video version of this episode is on our Patreon, and you could join for like $1 and get it. So you should just do that. It'd be fun.
It'd be cute.
And thanks in advance.